Hey guys, welcome. In this video we're going to talk about OBS and Restream and how to get that set up for your small church. Go ahead and grab a cup of coffee and we'll meet right back here. Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, I'm Adam from the Light Media Group, and we are here to equip local churches to reach and grow their communities through technology. So today we're going to talk about OBS and we're going to talk about Restream and getting OBS set up, how to configure the right settings for your stream. We're going to kind of dive into my preferences on how to get it all set up and stuff like that. We're not going to go into camera systems or any of that kind of stuff. And I'm also just to mention, I'm going to be using Proclaim, which is the display software that we use to display the lyrics and stuff at our church. But this would work with anything because OBS has the ability to screen capture. And so we're going to kind of go through that and let you look at that. But keep in mind that you could use any, so if you're using ProCenter, Proclaim, or anything, this setup would still work. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. You just need to go ahead and open a web browser, and we are going to just take a look at obsproject.com, and this is where we're not doing an installation video of OBS. We'll assume that you can do that, you can handle that on your own. This is going to be specific to a MacBook Pro as well. So I'm using a MacBook Pro, I'm recording this session on a MacBook Pro. So if you have an Apple computer, you'll download obviously the Mac version. If you have a Windows computer, you download the Windows computer. Something else to note regarding the setup is this is a computer that will be running both our presentation software, which is Proclaim, and it's also going to be running OBS. So we have a very powerful machine, and it can handle running our presentation software, and it can handle OBS doing the live stream at the same time. So keep that in mind. So this is just where you go to download it, obsproject.com. We'll start from there. Now we want to go ahead and go to Restream. It's restream.io and press enter. And here you can get started, which you'd fill out your information. You get a free trial for the basic plan. But I already have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and just log in so we can begin to take a look at things here. So you'd enter your email here and then your password. Once you get your account set up, you're going to log in, and it's going to take you straight to the dashboard here. From the dashboard, you can set up your, you can add your channels. I'll just show you that real quick. So you just click it, and it's going to walk you through on setting up the channels. It's going to give you the links to set those up and that kind of stuff. We're not going to really focus on that. It's pretty straightforward. You can reach out to them. That's also a good thing about Restream, is if you have a problem getting this set up, you can watch through them. So once you get those set up, you'll have your things here that you can set up. The big thing is you want to make sure you update your titles. This basically gives you the video title and then the description that goes into your video. You want to make sure you get these updated. Like for example, ours are Sunday service, and then we have the date. So anyway, now we're going to drop into settings because we're going to grab some information here that we need. So here's all your account, payment information, that kind of stuff. We want to go to streaming setup, and this is what we're going to need for open broadcast. So let me go ahead and grab that real quick. I'm going to go ahead and open up Open Broadcast. Already got it installed here on my MacBook Pro. Let me drag it over here so we can see it. So this is Open Broadcast. So this is what's going to come up when you first start the program. I have actually some scenes that are already in here. You can create multiple scenes. You can create groups of scenes and stuff like that. That helps you during your transitions. And I'm going to show you a basic scene setup, and then you can kind of go from there based on what your needs are, what your service order is, and that kind of stuff. So once you get Open Broadcast software opened up, you're going to go into settings. And we're going to talk about just some generic settings for now. So general, you can change the theme. For the most part, you're going to leave these all the same. Under Stream, we're going to select Restream. And this is where we needed that information. So for the server, it basically gives you the list of all their servers. I leave this on auto detect, which basically means before you hit go live or start streaming, the button in OBS, it'll detect which one's closest, and then it'll start streaming to that one. If you know which one's closest, you can go ahead and select it. They also have a testing, which is pretty neat. So if you go here under streaming setup, so we're at Restream.io, we're logged in. We go to Streaming Setup. You can run this test that they have built in, which is pretty sweet. If you do the auto detect, it's going to tell you which one you go to, but you can look at this is called the ping, which this is the time that it takes from your computer to send to this server's location and get a response back. So the lower the number, the better. So like auto detect gets me 17 milliseconds. And let's go figure out where that one is. It's probably going to be closest to me. Dallas is probably going to be the fastest for me. It retested the auto and gave me, so let me test this again and see if it'll be even quicker. So I can test them individually. So now that this one's the closest, so it has the lowest ping, I can hit test again, and it tells me what my upload speed is. So we want to remember this number here. So this is 19.55 megabits per second. Okay, so we want to remember that. So I'm going to actually select Dallas as my location. So let's go back to Open Broadcast Software. And instead of doing auto detect, I'm going to find Dallas. So US Central, Dallas, Texas. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to, we're kind of jumping back and forth a little bit here. So we'll go back to our setup here. We're going to copy this key. So we'll click here to copy. And if you haven't generated a key or you're having issues connecting, you can always generate a new key and copy that and put it in here. I'm not going to do that now, and then you will go ahead and you will paste that in here. So you paste it in and then apply those settings. So now we've got our setup stream to restream. Now we're going to go through the other settings. So under output, I leave it as simple. And you notice that I had that number when we tested the Dallas server. It said we had 19.55 megabits per second. So for streaming, we want to use half of it. And that would be our maximum upload. So for example, now that we have 20, I'm going to actually increase this to 10,000 kilobits per second, which is 10 megabits. This is a MacBook Pro, so I'm going to use a software encoder. Everything else you're going to leave the same. You can change your recording destination, that kind of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and apply that setting. So I changed it to 10, which is half of my upload speed. Yours is most likely anywhere from 5 to 10, unless you have like a really great internet connection. If you're out somewhere with a poor internet connection like DSL or not a very high-speed connection, you'll just need to adjust that number based on your upload speed. Audio, we're going to leave that the same. Use stereo. Video, this is also going to determine your canvas. So basically this is what Open Broadcast Software displays it as. And then this is your output. So anything less than 2,000 kilobits per second, you want to go down to 720. So since we're way above that, we're at 20, or we're actually streaming at 10 megabits or 10,000 kilobits, we can actually do the 1080p. So we're going to keep that the same, bicubic scalar, and we're going to do 30 FPS, which is pretty much your normal frames per second. That's pretty standard for most televisions, streams, and whatever. Also in the settings, there's hotkeys, there's advanced setups and stuff like that. So since I didn't change anything, we're going to go ahead and OK. So for the most part, we're at the point where we've got OBS set up for our stream. It's going to go to live stream. All right, so now we are ready to go ahead and get started configuring our scenes and our sources. And I'm going to do some basic scenes for you just to really get you started. I encourage you to just kind of play with this, get this set up however you're laying it. However your order services, what you do in your services, how many cameras you have set up, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to basically just go through different scenarios on things. Since we use the same computer, it may change a little bit based on how you set it up. But to set up our main presentation slides, we actually just captured the projector screen or whatever that we're sending it out to. So let's go ahead and add a couple scenes that we're going to have. So like we'd have pre-service. What's some other ones? We'd have like speaking or sermon scenes. Let's do a speaking scene. And then, we got to have a music scene, right? So go ahead and remove this default scene. We'll get it taken out of there. And so let's go ahead and set up our pre-service. Like I said, our computer does everything. So it's doing the stream and the presentation software. So I'm going to add a display capture. So I'm going to grab the projector screen. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. I'm going to make this source visible so we can see what's going on there. So this comes up, it gives you the settings here, and right now the computer I'm recording on only has 2 displays, 0 and 1, and we want to have this set to the projector screen. So our slides are going to be on display 0, so I'm going to leave that selected correctly. You can crop and all that kind of different stuff there. So we'll hit OK. So really that's it for this swing. So say we were to go online, this is what our scene would look like. Our welcome slides would come up. We could start streaming, and this would be our welcome scene. So let's go ahead and back out of that, and let's do a speaking scene. So we'll go ahead and add a new source. And in this one, we're going to want to add a video camera, right? So we'll have a main camera. Maybe you have multiple cameras. The purposes of this tutorial, we're just going to have one camera here. And this could be like your listed devices. Like for example, we could have like I have a C920 web camera here. I can capture it with my phone, but we're going to go ahead and go with this camera over here. You can see me setting up here. You can set the preset resolutions and control that there. We got that source added. We're going to go ahead and stretch it out so it fills the screen. So for our speaking scene, we have this. So we have our camera set up like this, and we can stream that perfectly, okay? If we wanted to add music, this is probably the biggest comment of questions that I get is, you know, how do I add my lyrics over my camera? Okay, so we're gonna talk about that real quick. So our music scene, we're gonna go ahead and add our video capture device, and we're gonna add the main camera. Okay, so we got our camera here, and let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and stretch it out to fill the screen. So this could be your pastor, your praise team. You know, this we're doing music here. So like in our speaking scene, we have just this camera, and say in music we want the lyrics. So we're also going to add our display. Let's go ahead and go to display. We're going to add an existing because we just need to add the same one, or we could add a new one. We want to add display proclaim maybe. So here we are. We got our proclaim, and I want to actually edit this. Okay, so we want to add a filter. And it is called a color key. I'm going to go ahead and remove it and re-add it just so you can see exactly how to do it. So you select the plus button here because we're going to add an effects filter, and we're going to add a color key. There's also some other stuff. You can crop pad, all kinds of different neat stuff. But here we're going to add a color key, and we're going to go color key black. We're going to remove black. So our projectors in our sanctuary display white lyrics, and it's a transparent or black background, okay? So I want to be able to remove the black color so that the video will come through, and that's exactly what we're doing here. So I'm going to go to custom color. This is also kind of the same way like a green screen or chroma key thing works. We're going to choose this. You may have to mess with some of these. For the most part, they're set pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and try those out real quick, and we will go ahead and go to some lyrics here. So you can see our slides for this. So we did Come Ye Sinners, and it has a transparent black background, which what that's going to do is when I actually start presenting, it'll just make it black. So we want to take out the black and only have the white lyrics show in our stream. So let me go ahead and get through that. Add a video. Okay, so you can see here, and let me check the main camera here. It seems to be giving me some fits here. So let's go. Let's just say the C920 right here at the front. So here we are. So we'll go ahead and do that and say we have music. We don't want it to be the whole screen, right? So we don't want it to look like this. So what we're gonna actually do is, let me go ahead and go to some actual music since we're setting up our music. So we have here Come Ye Sinners. So I'm gonna actually make that a little bit smaller. I'm gonna drag it down here because I want my lyrics to come here. The little toolbar here, you can see it's not gonna be there. It's just coming up because I'm selecting different windows on my MacBook here. So say now we want to see what this will look like as we go through our slides. So Come Ye Sinners, we're singing along. We got the camera. As you can see how that's all set up, and it has a nice transition as we go through. So we have our lyrics down there. You can make them whatever color you want. You could do whatever you feel led. Really, really easy simple setup there. So you can go through, set up your scenes, and I encourage you to just kind of play with it, do that kind of stuff. Obviously, you're going to also have another audio interface. So you want to add another audio capturing device. So you had an audio input device. Say, for example, this would be my X32 mix that's coming in. Just go ahead and show you real quick how to add this up. And it would be a, so say it's a UHM 40 CD. Getting some pop-ups over here. So OBS wants to access my audio devices. So you'd select your audio device here and hit OK. Now, anything that goes into my X32 interface is going to come in here, and I can control the levels with the slider just like I would on a mixer. So we can kind of do like a mock little service here as we're going through. Okay, so we have a pre-service, and then we will be starting soon. So this triggers right when the service starts. And then say, for example, we have somebody come up and speaks. And then say we have, I think we have a video in here. So we can have this video play, and you can display this, and you can obviously hear the music playing. You can actually capture your audio from the computer if you want to. And then we go into, say we have some scripture we want to do. You can go through those. So like we actually switch from speaking, and then we talk about scripture. We go back to the full screen, and then we go back to speaking, and then we go into our music, for example. So this would be just going through so we get to Come Ye Sinners, and we're singing along. We have the praise team, the band on the stage. You can switch cameras. You can do whatever you want. So you just set your scenes up, go from there, and like I said, you can have all the lyrics down here in the lower thirds. So. Hey guys, thanks for taking the time to watch the video. If you made it this far, you are awesome. I am happy for you. I tried to cram as much information as possible, and this video kind of tends to get a little long. But honestly, we've only scratched the surface of open broadcast software and Restream. We haven't even talked cameras or any of that, like different stuff. So there's a lot of stuff to cover. I hope you like this video. If it's been helpful to you, I hope that you'll subscribe. And I hope that God blesses your ministry and your live streaming, and hopefully that God can use me to help you leverage open broadcast software and Restream. Take care. Have a good one. God bless.